Hello, folks. Welcome back to Earworms. And if this is your first time, welcome to Earworms. If you're new here, it'll take a little getting used to, but don't worry, it'll be okay. You'll enjoy it. Um, I am Dr. Lawrence W. Moore, your host. I am the one that founded the Wayfarer project. And if that's a mouthful, you could just call me Wayfarer or, whatever you want. But anyway, tonight we have a special adventure. We are taking a journey back in time to the medieval period, also known as the Middle Ages, also known as the Dark Ages. And believe me, the Middle Ages can definitely be dark. But in any case, we're going to cheer things up a little bit and make the Dark Ages a little less darker by focusing on the musical instruments from the period. In fact, we're going on a quest. We're going on a Grail quest. We are going to look for the Holy Grail of medieval musical instruments. And while we do that, we are also going to learn about questing for Holy Grails straight from the source, the greatest source of Grail quests ever, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So we'll do a slide through of that film intermixed with little competitions of instruments. But before we get to that, I am going to introduce my esteemed panel. We are, for the first time in Earworms history, using waves.video instead of StreamYards tonight. So if things seem a little glitchy, that might be why, although I was pretty damn glitchy with StreamYard as well. So I am going to cross into stealth mode here. So that way I can kind of look at my screen and not have you guys see me bobbing my head in and out. And what we are going to do is introduce one of the panelists. Some might know him as the ruler of the universe. Might have picked up on that. He needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. Please welcome Emperor J. Goodwin.
Finally, an entrance worthy of me.
Yes, I couldn't use the original one. Copyrighted.
Indeed.
So, grueling experience there at Mr. Brown Alliance, huh?
Oh, I'm just getting started. I've got earworms, and then after that, I'll have Gooch's show. So I'm going to be wall to wall streaming today.
You're a glutton for punishment, but we appreciate you, and we'll try to make your time fun here tonight. Indeed. Now, let's move along, folks, because we have a lot to do. And next, we are going to introduce another panelist. You know him well. He is kind of gray, and he is the husband of Barbara Lawrence, and they are founders of B-Roll Stage, especially the Friday night stream B-Sides. Links in the description. Please check it out under credits. He also doesn't need an intro, but I gave him one, and I'm going to give him a little bit more right here. Feeling naked without an avatar tonight, we have Adam Gray.
Yeah, I'm afraid my card got declined on the avatar rental tonight. I'll be back in good shape next week.
Okay.
We're all reeling from having to abandon StreamYards. We're all kind of scrambling.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I got proactive about it on Monday, but it's been a long, hard week because preparing this stuff, the tournament of instruments plus slides from the Holy Grail. It's been a heavy week for me. But just so you folks know there in the chat, usually we are 3, but tonight we are 4 because we're going to enlist the help of a channel friend, Mr. Mike Gorley, with some of these medieval instruments, as well as we need another voice part for some of the community theater we're going to be doing with Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So, once again, he just got an introduction, and we're going to give him a little bit more. Welcome aboard, Mr. Mike Gorley.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, guys?
Lawrence's audio levels on those clips, man.
Yeah.
The thermometer. Holy Lord, it is hot.
Yes. San Diego. I've been there once. It's a very beautiful place.
They have a very nice zoo.
Yeah, they do have a wonderful zoo. Yes, we're just getting hit with a little bit of freak weather, a little late in the season, and pretty sure my keyboard is fused to the table. So.
Yes, freak weather to make the freaks uncomfortable. So anyway, we're going to introduce one of our items on the agenda tonight, and it is this. We're going to learn how to use an open source Excel knockoff. No, we are going to be looking at this standings here to introduce some of the instruments that we're going to be seeing and hearing. If you look on the left side of the screen, I don't know if you guys see my mouse.
We do.
Yes.
Okay, very good. That helps me point. This is a group 1. And in this, we have the contenders, the lute, the flute, the frame drum, and the which is an Irish instrument. We're going to have to ask common people how to pronounce that. But any case, the lute, the flute, flutes have been around since ancient days, but we're going to look at some medieval flute that was common in Europe through that period. Once again, this is the medieval period, so we're talking about somewhere around, well, if you want to round it off to hundreds, it would be around 400 AD until 1450 AD. But I think the Roman Empire fell somewhere around, what was it, 340 AD or was it 430?
All I know is I believe the medieval period was renamed to menopause in modern.
Yes. They definitely get medieval on your ass.
Yeah, I mean, and when we do that music history stuff in college and everything, they go through the medieval in like 2 weeks or maybe 1 week. It's really quick.
School, same thing.
Yeah, it's really quick because they're just like, it's the Dark Ages, man. People weren't building pyramids anymore. They weren't having they were having gladiator fights, but they didn't have nice arenas to do it in or any of that stuff. But anyway, the musical instruments are very fascinating, interesting, and their sounds are worth exploring. So we like the medieval music here in this household, Psyche Opera and I. So we're going to move on here and see what we have next. Group 2, competing in that is the gittern, the sackbut, and no, that is not.
I think I know who's going to win. Yep, let's go ahead. Yep.
That is not a joke instrument, folks. We will see what the sackbut is when we get there. Bells, I decided we might as well include bells. They were used musically. And bagpipes. And more than just Scottish bagpipes, there was Spanish bagpipes. There was all sorts of bagpipes. And then over here, group 3, we have the sham competing with the dobra. No, Donbra. Yes. Mike, thanks for fixing that.
Why do these all feel like made up names? Lawrence, are you on the right pills?
I don't think so. There's trumpet and also the hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then the final group. Now, this is the group of death. This is like having France, Germany, the Netherlands all in one group in the round one of the World Cup. We have the zither, the fiddle, which also can be known as a viol from that time. I've seen both words used. And there's a crumhorn and an organ. Organ's going to be a bit of a contender there, I believe. So we're going to start off with our group one with the lute, the flute, frame drum, and what do you call that? Is Common People there? Maybe he can help us.
I haven't seen him yet, but I bet he shows up.
Yeah.
He may be trying to recover from Price of Reason singing. It seemed Common People was very excited.
Oh, you guys are mean. My singing's way worse than that.
No,
no. Common People was like, I can only jizz so much. That's,
oh, he's sleeping it off.
Yeah, he's got some refractory period to deal with him.
Well, anyway, here, I believe I have the right video called up here, and this should be our lute. So we get to behold the lute first, and then we'll do a little talking about it. Now, I'm going to pause it right there. Seems like a good moment to do so. Beautiful looking instrument. Now, they are still made today. This is not from, it's designed in the same way as it would have been in the medieval period, but many of those instruments did not survive. As you can see, it's a stringed instrument with, I'm trying to count there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's 8.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 courses of strings in pairs. So 8 total strings. And that's one of the things about the lutes is in order to get more resonance of the sound, double strings were used. Now, Mike Gorley, you're a guitarist as well as a dombraist as well as a dutarist, and tell us anything that you might have to share about the lute.
Well, the interesting thing is, so that one's 8 strings. It evolved into the oud, which is 11 strings, and typically played with what's called a plectrum. But if you notice in the video there, it's kind of hard to see it sticking out. He's playing traditionally with a quill. So,
you can see it coming between his 2 fingers.
Yeah, that is a quill, and which I think they used for pens back then too.
Yeah,
and that came over here too, because some of the dulcimer players, Appalachian guys, will play with a turkey feather. So they keep the whole feather on. He's just using the quill.
Right. Now, does that so with the doubled up strings, is it played more like 12-string guitar where you're always kind of hitting 2, or do you individually hit all the strings as well?
No, it's similar, and I believe and it looks like it on that one. Those look like nylon strings, but
I think so.
Yeah, we're typically with a 12-string on the top 3 anyway. They're an octave apart. Mm-hmm. Whereas with the oud, and it looks like this as well, they're the same. They're the same octave. They're not set apart.
Okay.
Now, these basically came to Europe from the Middle East, and I think it had a lot to do with the cultural exchange program that
The
was
Moors
called the
in
Crusades. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and then the Moors. Oh man, no relation. They yeah, they brought some stuff too. But basically, I think it all goes back to Mesopotamia, at least from what I researched, and something called the tambor was an early
Yes.
string instrument. Now there are other string instruments like harps that were around in ancient Greece and so forth. Um, so it's a long evolution, and you could pretty much get a whole degree. Or at least a degree in organology, which is the study of instruments, and then do a whole dissertation on the evolution of string instruments over time, especially plucked string instruments, and what's in the guitar family, what's not, because it's almost like chimpanzees, orangutans, and gorillas and monkeys. It's like, okay, they have some common ancestry, but they're in different categories and stuff like that, and it could get pretty confusing.
Would
Live
they have?
streamers. Yeah.
No. Those are separate species entirely. So the strings originally, would that have been sinew or what we call catgut?
Yeah. I don't know if it was necessarily cat, but it was definitely a sinew of some type.
Right.
Yeah, they use gut of some sort. A lot of times it might be sheep, goats, whatever they had.
Mm-hmm.
The whole process is I don't know how they did it. Sheep gut. There you go.
Yeah. And then
Some people still do that, but
yeah.
you don't see it too often. It's generally nylon. Some of the instruments, like the dutar and some other ones, use silk.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Well, I
Breaks
also
then-
wanted to
easily.
people that still, I mean, if you take your guitar to be repaired in a proper instrument, it's a luthier. So the word still stays with us.
Mhm.
Well, I also wanted to point out, should have done it earlier. There is a link in the description for each of these instruments in each of the videos that we're going to look at. Please, if you're interested in any of them, click on the links in the description after the stream and check out the channels of these artists. And many of them are musician performers, some of them researchers, and some that you'll see are even composers and so forth. This gentleman is Pepe Frana, and as you see, he did not want his face to be shown.
But his magnificent beard still
And
represents.
I wonder why, it's earworms. You think people would really want to be seen on earworms?
I don't know about that.
Ouch.
So, well, no, I just said that. That's the way the video is. I never talked to the guy. But one could imagine. Maybe that's why he did it. He didn't know who'd be streaming him later.
Yeah, there's
So
definitely
anyway.
a very Moorish design, at least to that instrument, with the whole for the resonance chamber.
Yeah, they were very beautiful. The way those holes are cut.
Oh, our CFO is here.
Chairman of the board.
Yes, sir.
Who would that be? Oh, common people. Yeah.
He signs your checks, Lawrence.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, I'm going to have to show you after we finish the next three instruments in this group. While we're doing the voting, I'll show you what Common People's been working on. He has a new initiative.
Ooh.
So anyway, that's something to look forward to. Here we go. Next, we're going to look at flute.
Little hot.
All right, well, I'll stop it there because I don't see a volume control on this.
It's there. It's with those three over on the right side. It's
okay.
the farthest left. Yeah.
There we go. Let's turn that down. Okay, then we can continue. As it says on screen there, this is a Satorello. And it was one of the medieval tunes that was popular. It's also like a style, like a style of dance, as well as this melody is also known as the Satorello melody, and you could hear it in a lot of different things.
I do know that tune, and I don't know much about the Middle Ages, so yeah, that seems very familiar.
It also has an Eastern influence to it, as one can tell. And anyway, we're going to let the lady continue performing. Okay, and then it gets a little bit wilder as it goes, but we don't have a description here of this flute, but this is how flutes would have looked in the medieval period. There are also smaller ones, like penny whistle type flutes, and then this would be, I guess you would call this like it sounds to me like it's almost in the range of an alto flute. Although I guess the comparison can't really truly be made because it doesn't look like this has as much of a range. But in any case, we could just say middle. So I don't know if anyone has anything to say. I know, Mike, you play some Native American flutes.
Yes, yes. That looks very much, and I don't know if I can pronounce this. It's a kuhachi or something. So it's very similar to a Japanese flute.
Yeah.
Except the real ones are not blown like that. They're actually rim blown, I believe.
Yeah, right. The Japanese versions, yeah, which is kind of like blowing over the top of a
bottle.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but it's not.
Yeah, I know. I think I ordered one from Amazon in the past and had fits with it.
Yeah, I found one from a guy who actually had a piece that goes over it, so you can take the piece off and do it the traditional way, or you can put the end piece on, and then it's plays similar to a Native American flute.
Anyway, this is Phyllis Chan, and of course the link was in the description. Definitely look her up and so forth. I don't know that I have a lot further to say. It's just later in the ages we had recorders, which had a bit of a mouthpiece to them. This looks like it's hard for me to tell. It's not a mouthpiece that goes in the mouth, so I think she's definitely blowing over a hole there.
Yeah, there's definitely no reed, so yes, it's a carved.
Yeah, well, reeds would be different instruments. We do have some reed instruments coming up.
I think it's like more like what Babs was saying. It's like the recorders that we used to play, when we were in kids.
Yeah, although they had mouthpieces that you could actually wrap your lips around and blow through, and the air would get split as an airstream by a little window just a little bit further down the mouthpiece at an angle, and that air current splitting is what generated the vibrations of the sound.
That's what that looks like.
Yeah, that's what she looks like she's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Blowing, she's blowing in.
She has her lips over it.
Okay, yep. Well, I don't see well, so that's why I'm making an ass out of myself.
That would be how all the Native American flutes are.
Okay, so all right, so this is an early recorder. All right, I should let the people with vision kind of like describe what's going on. But anyway, Phyllis, thank you for your performance.
Phyllis?
Yeah, that's the name of the performer there, Phyllis Chan. That's the name of their channel, and that's where I found the video. I'm just giving credits, As I use people's videos here, I like to just point out
we're not using them, we're sharing them.
Huh?
I said we're not using their videos, we're sharing them.
Okay, we're sharing them. Okay.
It's a tribute.
All right. And next we have Frame Drum. Now this is from a channel called Edward Foster Art, and we're going to pause it right here just to see the the titling. It looks like it's a sad lament. There was a lot of that in the medieval period.
There was a lot to lament in the medieval period.
Yeah. And we're going to be here. We're actually going to see and hear this again because there's two instruments in here right now in this group of the competition. It's the frame drum that we're going to listen to, and that will be performed by Philomena Iyami, and Edward Foster plays the guitar, which is in the next group. I divided them up into 2 groups so they don't compete together right away. But so in this video, try not to be mystified by the gittern. What we're listening for in the competition is the frame drum. And a name for that in Irish would be bowron, but it's spelled like bodron, but I think it's pronounced bowron.
Well, either way, he shall not pass.
No.
Okay, so there we go. Now she gets a little bit more involved here.
Let's hear it. Sorry.
I'm going to pause it there because we are going to hear this again later because the gentleman there, Edward Foster, I assume, is playing the gittern, which is actually in a different family than the lute. But anyway, we're focusing on the frame drum for now. So anyway, I also happen...
You also
To
have a
ha-
handsome wallpaper.
Yeah, that is that's an impressive
That's nice.
background you have
Don't
on your desktop.
I've
Me?
started under there. Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know what you're seeing, man. Because
Well,
I'm
we
trying
see talk and rewards and search the web privately and all of your trackers disabled.
Okay. Looks like somehow we got off the video. I must have clicked something. Sorry, folks. I told you there was going to be a little bit of
bit of teething issues.
yeah, teething problems. So anyway, we're back here. We got the right video up. I needed to go to this tab here, which you guys don't see, because I wanted to also... Oh shit! It's playing.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, Edward. There we go. But anyway, so that's a frame drum. But the reason why I'm trying desperately to come back to some stuff here is because I can also show a little bit of something here. No, I left the stage here. I wanted.
Well,
to
that's
turn my
that. You
camera
certainly
on.
showed us something with that. Yes.
No, I have a frame drum here.
Oh, cool.
Oh, look at that.
This would be called the ballron, and higher pitched than hers. But this would have been played with this sort of thing. You know. Anyway.
Nice.
I'm not a percussionist, but I like the sound of it, so I got one, and they are beautiful sounding percussion instruments.
Indeed.
I hear Liza playing a flute somewhere. she's going to bring out a flute or something. I don't know what's going to
Well,
happen.
why not?
Right.
We're
Not
going
me, I
crazy
swear.
tonight. All right, let me turn off this thing so you don't have to see me, wobbling around. Okay, so anyway, we have one more instrument here in this competition. Although before I get to it, I should say, I mean, in this
Bracket.
group, in this bracket. There we go. I should say there about the frame drum also is that this is not unique to the medieval period in Europe. Cultures around the world came up with this fairly straightforward concept as well of stretching like a membrane or skin basically across a cylindrical shape. And the frame drum, what's different about it is it doesn't have a lot of vertical depth to it, at least with the ring around it. It really is more like a ring, maybe 3 or 4 inches tall if you lay it on its back. And so it has kind of like a little less resonance, but it still has a unique sound to it that's pretty cool.
Sounds great. I really like that. And clearly a predecessor to the tambourine.
Yes. Yeah, I think in later days, they added some things to it, but I think back then they would have had like shells on strings to make those types of sounds.
Cool.
Well, you can find frame drums to prehistoric times in about every culture all over the planet by different names. The Turkish have I don't know if I'll pronounce it right. It's bendir, bendir, and it's played very similar, excuse me, to that. And it's also a medieval instrument. So these go back really far in all cultures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say
and the shamans use them.
I would say it's probably mostly because it is a straightforward concept that human beings, even separated by great distance, would have come up with, on their own. Or some might go with the ancient alien theory of perhaps, those that came from above, the Anunnakis, distributed frame drums to all the cultures of the world. I don't know.
It's not exactly.
And you let the secret out.
We were going to give you immortality, but have this drum instead. Thanks.
Yeah.
I believe it went frame drums, birth control, and then pyramids is how all this stuff was given to us.
Well, we'll see. More research needs to be done. But next, now that Common People is here, he could tell us how to pronounce CRWTH, the krth.
Wow.
So that would be, there are instruments that derive from that called, I think, lap fiddles or leg fiddles.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, it's a beautiful sounding instrument. And so, Mike, I'm going to pass it over to you because I have a feeling you might have some more to say about it than I do.
Well, yeah, I've seen that particular one by different names. So, and again, those type of bowed instruments are played all across the Asian continent. My buddy Gabriel Marin at Consider the Source has a couple of them. He was showing me one the other night. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, essentially they're kind of like a lap fiddle.
Yeah, in Ireland they were called the Cruth, so I went with that.
I think that one's. I mean, you don't have the resonance chamber that you do with modern, fiddles and violas and violins and all that. But the other thing is that you're only playing the with the upper 3 or 4 strings, and the other 2 are drone.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, 'cause see where his thumb is on his on his left hand.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Interesting. It still has a very rich sound for.
That underlying drone kind of gives it's that very medieval, but also Irish. I mean, to my ears, my familiarity with music, that's very much endemic to the sounds of that era.
Yeah, and I think it helps that he's in a corner surrounded by stone walls.
Little reverb never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the credits there. It once again, link in the description. It's Je pose un cri. It may not be Irish, folks. It may be. I mean, I know the instrument has that Irish name to it for the version in Ireland, and that's what he labels it here. But I mean, his name sounds like I don't know, but unless he just uses that as an artist name, I'm not sure.
So that's a 5-string instrument. He's fingering the top 3,
and 1 on each side for resonance.
No, you have 2 at the past the thumb that are the drone strings. He's only playing the upper 3.
Yeah.
Should I back it up to where he was playing a little bit?
No, because I mean, where he's bowing is really hard to kind of figure out what he's doing. But you can see him. He only plays the strings on the board, the fretboard.
A lot of those old instruments had drone strings,
right?
But I didn't know this until the other night because I just made one of these, so I'm trying to learn how to use a bow.
You just made one of these?
Well, not that exactly, but a lap violin or whatever with a bow, but something that Gabriel told me in a lesson, because I was asking him about the bow, is some of these instruments you don't actually push down on a fretboard. So you just put enough pressure on the string, and with the bow, you get the note. So there are some instruments where they don't have any fretboard whatsoever. They just push down on the string enough pressure.
Right. You just bend the string, and that gives you the tonal change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's a beautiful sounding instrument. So for everyone to see, I mean, we're not going to play the videos again. That would be a little too much with our time constraints, but we are going to look at the group here. So you can remember who's in the competition here. The lute, the flute, and the
Cruth.
The frame drum. There's one other thing, frame drum, yes. And so I am going to attempt to do, for the first time, a poll in the chat. I've never done one before. And so I'm going to try and see if I can figure out how to do it. This is show this, show that. I can make smileys, engage with your audience. Okay. I press that, and then it says start poll. POLL, folks. And basically, I'm going to put these instruments in. Lute. Let's spell it right. Flute. Frame. Oh, you have to tell it that you need more than 2 options, huh? I thought you could do 4 on these. That would ruin.
You should have 4.
Yeah, I'm just like looking for add option. Okay, here. Lute, flute, frame drum. This is painful.
Hey, R2.
That is actually R2's favorite instrument is the Excel spreadsheet.
And he rocks. He
Oh
throws
yeah,
it
oh
down.
yeah, he plays it well.
Okay, there we go, folks. The poll is now in the chat.
There it is.
And so, and
It's
even the
already a
panel,
tough call. It's already. Oh my gosh.
what?
I'm having a hard time voting, and we're just getting started.
Yeah. Well, you have,
felt
don't
like-
worry. It's not like you're electing a president or anything.
Is this going to go?
This
I
is
was
a,
a frame
But I
drum
want them
guy.
all.
I was a frame drum guy until I saw
I have
the
3 of them.
so chat, please vote with us here and help us actually pull off this this attempt at combining medieval instrument competition with the search for the Holy Grail. Although the official title is just Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes.
But okay, looks like Loot has pulled to an early lead. Oh, anybody in the chat, please help us with the voting.
Well, we'll leave it up, and then we can.
let's leave it up for a bit.
Yeah, and
Okay.
deal with it afterwards.
Yeah, there might be someone in the restroom. Yeah, well, that's because what we can do in between is go on to the film and begin our exploration of the following things. Slides.
We're going to explore slides. All right.
No, I can't speak and do this at the same time. Maybe this isn't my calling in life. Let's see here.
Ask your doctor if podcasting is for you.
Right for you.
Okay. Now, I've selected it, and then I need to pop it up like this. There we go. So, I don't know how many people in our audience has actually seen this film. If they haven't, they should as soon as possible. Now, it's not for everybody. There is, shall we say, a certain degree of English zaniness to it, and a bit of camp to it. But I mean, when I was a kid, I it was like rib splitting laughter. So anyway, here we go. Here we're doing the credits because there's something important about the credits. As we proceed in the credits, of course, we see quite simple there in almost the Times New Roman font, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And then, what's this? Monty Python lick fondle graila.
Monty Python.
Monty Python, ik den Holy Grailin.
What is that movie where John Candy knows Swedish because he watched porn? Is that the like Volunteers or something like that? What is that?
Oh, is that the one where the security guards?
Yeah.
Him and Eugene Levy?
It's not Stripes, is it?
No.
All
Certainly
right.
not Cool Runnings.
Move on.
All right. And then here they are, the Fab Six of the Monty Python. Graham Chapman, he died in the mid-'80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a shame.
Yes, it was.
What happened? I
think
never
it was
really
AIDS.
asked.
Cancer.
Was it?
Rest in peace.
Yeah. I remember watching. It was the Aspen Comedy Festival. HBO was broadcasting it, and they were having an interview with the Python members, and they brought out an urn that was Graham.
Yeah.
And then as they
I
were
remember
talking, they kept knocking it over, and then like got out a dustbuster to sweep him up and all that. It was hilarious.
Graham Chapman was actually going to college when he met these guys to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically
I remember.
enough.
Yeah, I remember an interview with like John Cleese being interviewed by Eric Idle, and he said, they basically were just while they were at college, they were just coming up with ideas for things, and they literally had nothing, and
Yeah.
and they were able to get it going. So,
Yep.
and anyway, there we go. So, subtitles again. What kind of letter is that? Is that Ruknik Agnus Dei? I don't know. Something like that. All right, so we proceed forward, and as we go through these credits, they just need to translate the word with there. So that's Vik. Okay, and continue. And then,
Also, Wick.
also Vik. How come there's a slash through the O?
That's Scanderhubian. That's how they do it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep.
Very good.
Also weak. We'll not try a holiday in Sweden this year.
And as we proceed,
See the lovely lakes. The wonderful telephone system. And many interesting furry animals.
Yeah.
if you look at some of the names also, as the credits go on, some of the names get pretty outlandish.
Oh,
too.
yeah, they keep
Ed Sullivan's in it.
Ed Sullivan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, he's the rigger.
He's the rigger.
Wow, what a downgrade!
Gonna have a really big show tonight.
And then I don't know what the hell.
In a really big sandbag.
Well, what I can tell you is that this extra thanks was signed by Richard M. Nixon.
Who's not a crook?
I am not a crook.
I'm not a crook. I am not.
This film was
See, we haven't even started yet, and it's already got silly.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Including the majestic moose.
And then songs. Well, actually, the songs were Eric Idle, but Neil Innes.
No, Neil Innes was brilliant. He also did the Ruddles thing later.
Oh,
When we
okay.
get into more modern times.
Really?
In reality, there are only about 11 people that worked on this movie, so spreading the credits around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then was
Low
that
budget doesn't really cover this movie.
is De Wolf
Yes.
a person?
De
I
Wolf.
don't know. Okay. Anyway.
A moose once beat my sister.
Real medieval humor.
No, really.
Oh,
She
really?
was carving her initials on the moose with the sharpened end of an interspacer toothbrush, given her by Svenke, her brother-in-law, an Oslo dentist and star of many Norwegian movies. The hot hands of an Oslo dentist, feelings of passion, the huge molars of Horst Nordvik.
So yeah, I mentioned the John Candy bit. Younger viewers may not know this, but there once was a time when porn didn't just rain down from the sky, and many early pornographic films were Swedish. So that's what's going on here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I don't know why, but I'm just saying.
We apologize for the fault in the subtitles. Those responsible have been sacked.
It was pretty good when I figured it out.
Which
Mind
means-
you, moose bites can be pretty nasty.
Looks like the Saki did, and the sound. I mean, the score did change here. Like you hear like a tape slowing down,
Yeah.
and then it would start up different music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious. I was going to play that, but I decided against it because I
Don't
don't
take
know.
the risk. Nope.
Yeah,
We apologize again for the fault in the subtitles. Those responsible for sacking the people who have just been sacked have been
Have
sacked.
been sacked.
and sacking means fired in British expression, and then
The moose trained. Let me. Okay. Jute Hermskerbird in de Brotenbord.
looks like the subtitles creeped into the credits.
Yes.
Well, you got a lot of moose training to deal with.
Yeah. And during this time, it's like this slow, like sweet sounding
Yeah.
soundtrack, almost like Lawrence of Arabia or something.
And you have the special moose effects and the moose costume. Moose
Moose
choreographed
Trained
by
to concrete.
Miss Taylor's Mooses by Hinks Douglas Home. Moose trained to mix concrete and sign complicated insurance forms by Jürgen Wieg. Moose's nose wiped by Born Ekstrom Slatterwalker. Large
Those are all
moose on the
real
left-hand
people, you
side of
know.
the screen, and the third scene from the end, given a thorough grounding in Latin, French, and O-level geography by Bo Ben.
This is why modern Hollywood movies are so expensive, folks.
Yes.
They're wasting money.
Suggested poses for the moose suggested by Vic Rotter. Antler care provided by Liv Thatcher. Rub my
Oh,
nose,
that's a good
Liv.
name. It's a good name.
The directors of the firm, hired to continue the credits after the other people had been sacked, wish it to be known that they have just been sacked. The credits have been completed in an entirely different style at great expense and at the last minute.
We have a font change there.
Yeah, and
Well, that way you know new and professional people are in charge now.
yes, that produce this. Now you'll have to bear in mind it is a slide here, so I only got one of the colors that flashes on the screen.
Yeah,
it's not seizure friendly, basically.
no. But it is important to note that executive producer Ralph the Wonder Llama is involved.
The mark of quality.
Yes.
And his
Yeah.
family.
There's a lot of other
Yeah, a lot of
llamas.
assistance by Earl J. Lama, Milt Q. Lama III, Cy Lama, Merle Z. Lama the Ninth.
Is the Dalai Lama involved at all?
He could be.
Wait for it.
This is directed by 40 specially trained Ecuadorian mountain llamas, 6 Venezuelan red llamas, 142 Mexican whooping llamas, 14 North Chilean guanacos, closely related to the llama, regular llama of Brixton, 76,000 battery llamas from Llama Fresh Farms Limited near Paraguay, and Terry Gilliam and Terry Jones.
Who are in Monty Python. So.
England.
So that would have been an ordeal for any movie critic seeing this. It's kind of like insulting their art form. So 937. No.
2.
932.
932.
I don't pass judgment.
Actually, it's 93 squared AD.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, and here we do have a lovely opening, as you would see in anything pertaining to King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. It was always foggy, or
There's
at
a
least
lot of
frequently foggy, and frequently cloudy. Now, I guess I don't see a letter there. I know one of these slides.
There.
There.
Oh.
Video one. In fact, it is going to be a bit of a video clip. Because
no.
I've seen this clip on YouTube, so I know that someone has been able to play the clip. I just want people to behold, because this is also another instrument that is not in our competition. But anyway.
Wall up!
It's fancy.
The coconut shell really should be a medieval instrument, but
Yes, it should be. Actually, when I was in Latin club in high school, we went to one of our. They had like some sort of, I forget what they called it, the competitions where you go to another school, and it was like took place over a few days, and basically you're staying over, and there was different events, and basically some of them would be sporting events, some of them would be intellectual events, and some were like just talent shows. And so we did something where we had coconut shells, we banged them together, and we sang Happy Trails in Latin.
Wow.
I even kind of remember it. I don't have the coconuts, but it's something like Lightai semitai tibi incidimus iterum.
Who did this to you?
got laid that very night.
I think it was me did it to me.
Oh, God.
Just
All right.
quick side, the real reason this whole coconut shell gag started was because they legitimately could not afford horses.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had no money.
Imagine if they would have been able to afford the horses. It'd have took a whole element out of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the best running joke ever.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yes.
Well, I also have another little story. My wife almost didn't happen because her father took her mother on the first date to this film in the movie theater.
Good vetting process.
I mean, that seems like that would be guaranteed to produce at least the actions required to make a title.
Believe it or not everyone
Well-
loves Monty Python.
Well,
My wife's
no.
not a fan.
she basically said, "Why are they banging coconuts together?" And he said,
Oh,
"It's like because it makes a horse sound. It's to be funny." And she's still like, "Why?"
That sounds like my wife.
That's when you start looking around in the audience for any single women that are watching and be like, do you mind if I
Yeah.
sit by
or
you?
a fire exit. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if you get a hang up on that, it doesn't get better. Here we go. We are riding to this castle in the distance, which is also our background tonight. And I captured a few things here because the skipping and the prancing was really quite nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And there we go. They actually do say "whoa, whoa," and it's good that King Arthur doesn't have to bang his own coconuts together. He has a servant named Patsy there.
Patsy will bang his coconuts for him.
Yeah,
We all appreciate a Patsy.
and
Yes.
hello up there. And
Who is it? What do you want?
well, this is the lesser interesting of the castles. Now, don't I have an indicator there?
No.
No, I think I have to at some point.
God forbid we move forward.
What the? Because I'm pretty sure I had this as one of
Now
our.
you
There
do.
it is.
Oh, okay. I think the whole idea is we were just going to do that conversation,
Ah.
and I'm going to let people choose their own parts, and basically I'll go back and forth between these characters. There is, of course, King Arthur. Patsy doesn't say anything. But there's King Arthur, and there's Guard 1 or Soldier 1, and then there's Soldier 2. Do you gentlemen have the Scene 1 script, or?
I'm
I
quickly
do.
trying to decide who has the least lines.
Patsy. I'm going to be Patsy.
I'll take guard number 1. I'll get it out of the way. I'll do my.
Well, you're the most talkative one there.
I think there's only 2 people in this. Oh,
No,
no.
there's
Guard
3.
1, 2, and Arthur.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Well-
Mike.
I'll take guard 1.
Choose the poem.
Yeah, I think. Well, Jay's an emperor, so that's kind of like a king.
No.
King plus
Oh, God.
royalty. So, would you like to do King Arthur? And
Sure.
alrighty, and then guard number 2, that would be you, Mike.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so I'm not a good director. I'm just gonna say, go ahead.
Halt! Who goes there?
It is I, Arthur, son of Uther Pendragon, from the castle of Camelot, king of the Britons, defeater of the Saxons, sovereign of all England.
Pull the other one.
I am, and this, my trusty servant Patsy. We have ridden the length and breadth of the land in search of knights who will join me in my court of Camelot. I must speak with your lord and master.
What? Ridden on a horse?
Yes.
You're using coconuts.
What?
You've got 2 empty halves of coconut and you're banging them together.
So? We have ridden since the snows of winter covered this land, through the kingdom of Mercia, through...
Where'd you get the coconut?
We found them.
Found them? In Mercia? The coconut's tropical.
What do you mean?
Well, this is a temperate zone.
The swallow may fly south with the sun, or the house martin or the plumber may seek warmer climes in winter, yet these are not strangers to your land.
Are you suggesting coconuts migrate?
Not at all. They can be carried.
What? A swallow carrying a coconut?
You could grip it by the husk.
It's not a question of where he grips it. It's a simple question of weight ratios. A 5-ounce bird could not carry a 1-pound coconut.
But it doesn't matter. Will you go and tell your master that Arthur from the court of Camelot is here?
Listen, in order to maintain airspeed velocity, a swallow needs to beat its wings 43 times every second, right?
Please.
Am I right?
I'm not interested.
It could be carried by an African swallow.
Oh, yeah, an African swallow maybe, but not a European swallow. That's my point.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Will you ask your master if he wants to join my court at Camelot?
But then, of course, African swallows are not migratory.
Oh, yeah.
So they couldn't bring a coconut back anyway. Clop,
Wait
clop.
a minute. Supposing two swallows carried it together.
No, they'd have to have it on a line.
Well, simple. They just use a standard creeper.
What? Held under the dorsal guiding feathers?
Well, why not?
And that's it. That's a cut. Excellent job. I think I'm glad everyone in the UK is asleep.
Oh, thank God.
And not listening to this. Common People's all right because he's Irish. He doesn't mind making fun of the British.
Well, we do mind the Irish, so
Yes. For God's sakes, we have to have standards.
yeah, that's pretty Aussie comment. I'm sorry.
So anyway, wonderful first scene. And then we see this. A head just plopping
I think
there.
in first scene, there's more of this.
Bring out your dead.
Oh, well.
Yep. That's what we're getting into. But I decided to get a little bit of the ambiance of, how a typical town would look back then. I think they really, really played up the realism here.
I like the
Yeah.
filth.
Yeah. And
And the
that
loop-
guy's crawling into a basket, I believe. Oh, there we go. There's the one crawling into a basket.
It's Nezuko.
I'm not dead.
Well, no, this one's just crawling in there. Like, it must have been hilarious on set because they're just like, I'll just crawl into a basket or something.
It's half a rotten radish down there.
Yeah. And look at that. Ugh. Ugh. I love the filter on it. Makes it all steamy. So anyway, yes, the gentleman is pulling a cart full of dead bodies and banging on a something saying, "Bring out your dad. Bring out your dad." And then the customer comes up to him. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get to that, if you look in the upper right, that is someone beating a cat against the wall. Which you do get throughout this film now and then. I think it was commentary on how they stupidly dealt with the plague by trying to get rid of all the cats.
I
The
think
cats were the ones that
they're
were,
right.
The cat's got a bad rap.
yeah. Same thing during COVID.
Yes.
And in any case, the cats were the ones that are keeping the rat population under control. So anyway, here we go. So here's the customer comes up and, he's got a guy over his shoulder. He basically wants to put him on the cart, but we didn't do this, the lines for this because I figured, I don't know, we can't do them all. Your voices would wear out. But he's basically saying something like, "I'm not dead yet."
I'm not dead.
yet.
I'm feeling better.
Yeah, and John Cleese playing the guy holding him is like, yes, you are.
Good morning.
You'll be quite dead in a moment. I feel happy. I feel happy. Well, he's not going to be happy for long because, do us a favor. And he basically, did I get the bonking over the head there? Yeah, I think I did.
You got the
Basically.
motion.
Yeah, there we go. He basically clubs him over the head, puts him on the cart, and, got paid. So, anyway, King Arthur rides by, and the commentary is, he must be a king or something. The guy asks why. He hasn't got shit all over him. Yes, that's how you could tell the kings. Oh, and then here we go. I can hear the music right now. Bum ba dum ba da ba dum bum bum ba dum ba da ba dum ba dum ba da ba dum bum bum ba dum ba da ba dum. And there's riding down the hillside here.
Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop.
And there we have another community theater indication.
Oh no!
This would be scene 3, and this definitely, I think, Emperor Jay should be King Arthur. And Adam, I think you'd make a perfect Dennis with the way you go on about everything being democratic and all that stuff.
Oh, all right, fine.
And then I guess coming up, Mike, you're, I don't know if it's Dennis's mom or
Woman.
his woman or just
I
a
am
woman.
woman.
Okay, so do whatever prep you need.
Somebody call it.
So,
Clop, clip.
yeah, go
Old
ahead.
woman!
Man,
The old man, sorry. What knight lives in that castle over there?
I'm 37.
What?
I'm 37. I'm not old.
Well, I can't just call you man.
Well, you could say Dennis.
Well, I didn't know you were called Dennis.
Well, you didn't bother to find out, did you?
I did say sorry about old woman, but from behind you looked...
What I object to is you automatically treat me like an inferior.
Well, I am king.
Oh, king, very nice. And how'd you get that, eh? By exploiting the workers? By hanging on to outdated imperialist dogma which perpetuates the economic and social differences in our society? If there's ever going to be any progress...
Oh, Dennis, there's some lovely filth down here. Oh, how do you do?
How do you do, good lady?
There
I
she
am
is.
Arthur, king of the Britons. Now, whose castle is that?
Who?
The Britons.
Who are the Britons?
Well, we are. We're all Britons, and I am your king.
I didn't know we had a king. I thought we were autonomous collective.
You're fooling yourself. We're living in a dictatorship, a self-perpetuating autocracy in which the working classes...
Oh, there you go. Bringing class into it again.
That's what it's all about. If only people would...
Please, please, good people, I am in haste. Who lives in that castle?
No one lives there.
Then who is your lord?
We don't have a lord.
What?
I told you, we're an anarcho-syndicus commune. We take it in turns to act as sort of an executive officer of the week.
Yes.
But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting
Yes, I see.
by a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs,
Be quiet!
but by a 2/3 majority in the case of more...
Be quiet! I order you to be quiet!
Order, eh? Who does he think he is?
I am your king!
Well, I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for kings!
Well, how'd you become a king then?
The Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in the pure shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king.
Listen, strange women lying around in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not some farcical aquatic ceremony.
Be quiet!
Well, you can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you.
Shut up!
I mean, if I went around saying I was an emperor just because some moistened bint had lobbed a scimitar at me, they'd put me away.
Shut up! Will you shut up?
Now we see the violence inherent in the system.
Shut up!
Come see the violence inherent in the system. Help, I'm being repressed.
Bloody peasant.
Ugh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Did you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?
I'm a little slow with the slides, but anyway, I think we got the meaning delivered there. Help, I'm being oppressed, which is something that we could all say on occasion. So anyway, that is the end of scene 3. So let us check in with our poll here in our competition of the instruments.
They all say we should stop the stream.
Well, who's to argue with them?
We're destroying the English language.
Apologists.
Well, I think unless there's any last minute votes here, no, well, it's 9 votes, just kind of like the Supreme Court, I guess.
Well, it's
And
an odd number, so let's do it.
all right, so oh my goodness, it's the lute in the flute.
What?
Lute and the flute.
The poor.
How could you not vote for the?
Oh my goodness! So I'm going to stop the poll, but it looks like
Well, if you have a tie, then you have to run those 2 instruments again.
no, they weren't tied. The lute won by a large margin.
Really?
Like 40% to 20-something. Yep. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to mark it in the book.
All right.
And so, yeah, I feel sad, but I guess
Jimmy the Greek is eating a whole bottle of Tums right now.
Oh yeah.
the people have spoken. And damn, I'm sorry. It's my magnifier is like throwing me off. Okay.
Oh,
lute
results.
and flute.
Wow. Well, wait. It's 44, 22, and 22. I'm not trying to slow this down.
Uh-oh.
Have a runoff for second?
Oh, well, what's the 22 and 22?
I see lute at 44, flute at 22, and at 22.
Oh my goodness. How do we decide the difference there?
Not it.
We're going to have to amend the Constitution, aren't we? We didn't even consider this plausible outcome.
Strange women running around polls. No basis for a system of democracy.
Hey.
Well, if
I'm
they were
willing to
both
engage.
22, then I don't know. Well, how about this? We gotta put in the cruth because flute sounds like lute. They rhyme, and you can't have that.
Seems legit.
Yep. Okay.
I approve.
Yeah, I mean, a flute is just a lute with another letter appended to it. I mean, that's not even novel.
Right?
It's a lute
Right.
with holes.
Yeah.
Call it the eye lute.
Fuck flutes.
Okay, so there we go. And now, since we have reached the ends of this first group of slides, scenes 1 through 3 of the film, we are going to look at our next group here. And what are the 4 instruments in this group? Could someone do that for me while I get this up?
Are you doing the lower ones? For the lower?
The lower left.
Okay,
the black.
The gittern, the sackbut, the bells, bagpipes. The bells.
Alrighty, and I'm looking here to see where this video is. That's the film. Video from the film. This is what here? Oh man, sorry folks. It is a bit of teething, as I said before. Oh, here we go. There we go.
Nope, we've seen that one.
That's
Yes,
That's the cruise.
but it is the correct tab. It is. The correct
okay.
tab.
So we were just looking for tab.
And so, yeah, because after I select the right window, then we can go and select the correct instrument. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the gittern. And we're going to see some friends of ours that we've already met. But now folks can unfocus on the frame drum and focus on the gittern here to the right. Now, is there anything that you want to say, Mike, about this instrument? Or I have a feeling when we've talked before the show today, you hadn't heard of it before.
Well, I'm not familiar with the history or anything of it. No.
Well,
I've seen him once or twice, but I'm not super familiar with this instrument.
It is.
You'll have to buy me one so I can play it.
Seems fair to me.
Yeah. Did you think I was doing this for free?
Look, all I know is that guy on screen definitely tried to sell me a leaky leather tankard at a run fair.
Yeah.
Oh dear, yeah, and we do have some Ren Fair joy coming up soon. We do have our AI edition to do. Anyway, let's move on with the gittern here. Main thing about it is it has It is a solid piece of wood, as you can probably see there. It's basically there's no body and separate neck. They're basically all one piece of wood.
That must be exhausting.
Now, since we've heard this part of the song before, let's hear the second part this time. All right, so it seems like he's locking into a groove there. But anyway, we have heard the sound of the guitar. Yes, solid piece of wood, single courses of string, unlike the lute. Basically, the strings aren't doubled, and there isn't any kind of drone strings like the
Ziggy played guitar.
It looks like is there 8 strings on it?
I've been trying to count the pegs.
Well, that's the problem.
It
Is
looks
right up
like
at the
they're
top.
double
He's got a
stringed, actually. But it's hard to tell. It's kind of dark.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely 6, but it looks like there's 2 more up there
Well,
with his tassel or whatever.
What I read was that they had different numbers of strings. Basically, over time, more were added, but they were all still considered guitars if they were solid pieces of wood and played in this manner. Single courses of string, because at the time the lutes had doubled strings, so yeah, that's why it was considered a different category. And also, it's played differently in a way because it's much smaller, and it's almost like a knee fiddle in a way, except there's no bowing. It's being plucked.
Yeah,
It looks like he's using mainly the bottom string, maybe the bottom 2. So the top looks to be, at least when he's playing, used as a drone.
Oh, really? Oh,
Initially he was.
yeah. So he's plucking, but the other thing is that the tuning of it seems like it's more of like the sitar Eastern style than what we're used to now.
Yeah, it's definitely in a mode that is more Eastern sounding.
Right.
Now, the thing is, we don't know. I don't know if this is an original piece, and it quite very well could be, in which case it may not have been composed in the Middle Ages. Although it's named as if it it could have been, because there was a lot of songs about lamentation and
poor Tristan, something happened to him. He's
lacrima and stuff like that, and yeah, so
it also looks to be fretless. No frets.
Yeah, true.
Really?
And,
So you could do microtones that way,
yes,
and
I
that
was
way
just
you can
gonna
play
say, a lot of
about
the,
any mode that you want.
Right. A lot of these instruments, which is what differs a lot from the Western music, is you have microtonal music. So it adds a whole slew of notes that aren't available on fretted instruments.
right.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad we have you, Mike.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to learn some microtonal stuff on a saz, so it's very, very weird.
What's that?
The Baglama saz. That's there's a Greek one and a Turkish one.
Sounds like something I need to go to the clinic for.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to that.
Saz.
We'll look forward to that, and we have you on in the future. And next,
microtonal is very weird.
so anyway, that's Edward Foster Art. That's Edward and Philomena there with the guitar and frame drum again. So the guitar is what's in this round. It is competing now with the sack butt. And just so you guys know, I'm not making this up. This is serious because this is the King's College Choir. Maybe a brass choir.
So the
I will
instrument I
try
have
to be
here
mature
is
about
the
this.
sag butt, or the sack butt, the tenor sack butt, in fact. So called in England and spelt with a G, as in His Majesty's sag butts and cornets, but also sometimes sack butt with a CK, two T's. Nobody really knew how to spell it, but the words came from French, sacabute, meaning pushing out and pushing in again of the slide. However, in Italy, Giovanni Gabrieli would have known this instrument as the trombone. Trombone literally meaning large trumpet, which I think is obvious to see where that comes from, resembling the trumpet that was used at the time. It was perhaps the most favored of all wind instruments at the time because it could play loudly and softly, and thanks to the slide, completely chromatically. And that enabled the instrument to follow the development of music through the centuries up to the 21st century without really having to change very much, except getting larger to accommodate larger orchestras and larger halls, and basically to play louder. This instrument was developed to play with voices, as I think is illustrated very well in the music of Gabrieli.
Okay, there we go. He looked pleased about having to do the presentation.
He did.
Unlike me,
Okay, well, I just got a word in through the door here during the sack, but apparently our chat situation has somehow sagged.
only on the streaming software. On my phone, everything is in real time.
Okay, so the problem is we can't pop up any chats, huh?
Well,
Nope.
you can, but they're a bit late, I think.
No, they're just not showing up anymore. We haven't had anything since 7:49 p.m. my time, which
Okay.
is
I can see them
I'm seeing them.
on my end.
Yeah, I'm seeing a whole bunch of sack butts.
Yeah, there's a lot of sackbutt going on.
no. If you're on YouTube, you are.
No, I'm
Oh,
software.
well, yeah.
Well, I just went into the live chat here on wave.video and 8:49 p.m. is what I have.
Right.
Oh, it froze.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Oh, dear. So,
Chat, we still see you, and please keep them
well,
coming.
well, just let me say this to you folks. Oh, wait a minute. I just saw another one come. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We are using something called wave.video because StreamYard went from the deal that I had, and that was after only saying it was too expensive and canceling after the first month. I got a deal for $10 a month, and last week they upped that to $45 minimum,
To the
per month as the
much
minimum plan.
grinding of teeth. I feel really bad recommending StreamYard. It's one of the worst business decisions I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I guess you sacked their butt.
Hey,
yeah. Basically, I couldn't afford
That's
that.
not all I've ever heard of sack butt. Get your ass to work or we're going to sack your butt.
So
Well, they
that's
hit us
why
right in the
we're-
bagpipes.
So that's why we're using this right now. And this is something I'll definitely report at the end of the stream as an issue. But what we can do is, if you gentlemen see anything that you'd like to shout out in the chat, just shout it out the old-fashioned way using voice.
okay.
Okay. Okay. So we got a description of the sack butt there. Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know.
One of the few instruments I've ever been formally trained on was the slide trombone in grade school. I did not stick with it, clearly, or I'd be tooting at you right now. It's a difficult instrument. Either you have a knack for it or you don't, because again, it's sort of a fretless, valveless, unmeasured sort of play style. It was exciting when I was in 5th grade, but yeah, I don't relish anyone that has to struggle with a slide trombone style instrument.
Yeah,
So can you play
because
microtonal?
yeah, definitely. But the thing is, I mean, you got to use your ear, and the best trombonists, of course, have really good ears that they could hear their tuning because they're basically playing a tuning slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you have certain positions that from muscle memory you get used to. Like, I think third position is right around the bell. And so if your right hand is like next to the bell, you're kind of in third position. But, a few, like a few centimeters off, you're out of tune.
Yeah,
Excuse me. I have
less
to,
than that even.
Yeah, you learn to be repeatedly precise with with the movement. You're right.
Your muscle memory has to learn the positions
Yeah.
and fix
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, microtonal, you got to be very specific at how you do it, or it sounds like crap.
Right.
We have word from the control room here. Common People is sending a super chat.
we'll have them read it off. Okay, folks, we're getting information the old-fashioned way. Liza just came in my room. We have a contribution from Common People here. Can someone read that off, please, if you have YouTube open?
Too. I don't have an Irish accent, even though, like all Americans, I pretend to be Irish. For £5, Common People, chief financial stakeholder, says, only read out my messages. Can't do, chief. That fits in with our framework here right now.
Well, actually, I know how Common People's been doing fundraising for the channel, and I really appreciate that. This is what he was doing this week in order to make a little extra money for the channel, so that he could donate a little bit more. He was kind enough to go out and make a little money on the street,
He didn't
performing for
do that.
people.
He did.
Common People is our hurdy-gurdy man.
With the hurdy-gurdy, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and still popular song, man.
We appreciate you.
The Imperial March. So, in any case, we shall move on from the sacky sag butt. It's like great. You have two options: sack butt or sag butt. It's like neither one sounds all that great. But yes, I've been through the music history grinder, and it's a real instrument, real name, folks.
Oh yeah.
And here we go. This is the third one in this group, and it is the bells. And this comes from the last one, of course, came from King's College Choir, which it actually said, but this one comes from Tour Scotland. So I think we are seeing Melvin Deeply's mom.
That could be Melvin Deeply, for all we know.
Yeah. Okay, we have to keep things moving, folks. Jay has another gig tonight, so those will be the bells. Of course, in the background, we heard some sort of pipes, bladder instrument, and we do have the bagpipes coming up. So please do not judge the bagpipes in the background, just the bells. and
Nice.
and there we go. So I don't know that there's a lot to say about the bells.
I believe we're all familiar.
Yeah, so we all got a pair somewhere. All right. So anyway, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the last one in this group. And oh, it's the bagpipes. Oh no. And this is also from Tour Scotland. And it looks like the Scotland has a 50-50 chance of getting some instrument through here.
For once in their lives, they have a 50-50 chance.
So let's actually hear it. All right. So, as we can tell, it's not as robust as the Highland bagpipes that we're accustomed to seeing these days. It is one pipe there, believe, and we do hear a drone and a melody note. Should be also said that there are bagpipes from other cultures as well, but the next most famous bagpipes, at least were that I know of, were Galician bagpipes from Spain. In fact, we had Galician bagpipes performed at our wedding when we got married.
Oh,
and
Nice.
so
I've
anyway,
always wondered the thought process that went on in history that invented that you end up with bagpipes. Okay, so I got an idea. I got a flute, and then I've got like a sheep's stomach.
They are
And-
obsessed with sheep's bladders. Yes.
Yeah. There's
well, if you didn't want to make haggis, you had some leftover bladders.
right, but again, the indirect nature of this. Okay, I could blow directly into this woodwind, but hear me out. I'm going to blow into a bladder and just squeeze it with my armpit. I'm hearing what you're laying down, brother. Let's go. Okay.
I mean, if you've seen Scottish women, you can kind of understand their
Exactly.
fascination with anything else. I'm just kidding.
Well, they didn't even include her on camera there. You know, you heard her singing in the background.
Maybe the bagpipe is his wife.
I'm not sure that was a woman that was playing that first instrument.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm talking about the singing that's off camera here. Like the singing that's off camera, like you'll hear it now.
Oh, there she is.
He's trying to drown her out.
And so he's just like, you can see him just as he's moving around here, just blowing on this thing. He's like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Relatable. No.
It looks like a couple spat. She's singing about him, and he's just like honking on his bagpipe so he can't hear. So anyway, I think it's time to make a poll. All right.
Chat suddenly started working again, and
it's flowing through.
Yeah, at least for the moment.
Well, that's good. I will definitely still report it, folks. It's not certain whether I'm sticking with waved up video in the future specifically. It's looking pretty good except for this. But the other option might be Streamlabs Talk Studio, but I just can't do the $45 a month.
No.
Or StreamYard.
I'm talking with several people, including Tomby, who is a wonderful giving community member, about figuring out the best option for us. We're going to test a bunch of things with Tomby before the end of the month.
Okay. Well, and any way in which you can help guide us here, that would be great. But so far, that's the main glitch. Another thing I didn't like was that you can't type into the chat before the stream starts. You have to wait till it starts.
Yeah,
but that's easy enough to deal with. I can open YouTube in another tab. So anyway, our instruments this time are the guitar, and then we have next. My memory. We do have sackbut. I know that.
Yeah, you have the guitar and the sack butt, the
The
bells,
bells,
and the
the
bagpipe.
bells, and I think the bells. Well, I don't want to influence the vote, but all right, bells, and then finally bagpipes. So Scotland has a pretty good chance here. Although Scotland didn't actually have the monopoly on the bells. So the poll's up, folks. They just happen to be Scottish bells because it was from Tour Scotland.
Sorry to interrupt. We had an accident in the chat. Scott accidentally got timed out because Barbara's phone got touched inappropriately. Scott, we definitely did not mean to time you out. We'll see if we can reverse that. But it was an absolute accident, so please stand by, Scott.
Yeah, that happens. Phones. So anyway, I guess I'll leave this up so folks can go. Bagpipes. I knew bagpipes would be strong on that, but there's a fair amount of sackbut there. Okay, well, Liza says the chat froze again. Sorry.
No, we got that going for us.
No love for the bells.
Hold on just a moment. Did you want to play it? But can you turn on your camera and?
No, I could play it in the corner there.
Okay, but this is a headset. Okay, we're just a bunch of freaks.
Mom, I'm trying to stream.
No, Liza wants to play her Chinese Hulu C.
I want her to play it too.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be interesting.
She doesn't have to get on camera. She can just play it.
Well, Liza, if you want to do it now.
Yeah, the mic picked it up.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
No, you're off camera. It's fine. And
Well,
yes, we can hear you in the bathroom. We've been able to hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Since Adam wanted to know what this was,
Okay.
this is a Chinese gourd flute, and it kind of sounds like a bagpipe. It's a soprano.
Oh, that does. Yeah.
Oh.
Does that have like two chambers so it splits
Well, because she
the
doesn't
air?
want to be seen, what I am going to do, I'll Liza, if you hand it to me, I can put it on camera and hold it. All right. So, let's get this guy off screen here, if we can, for a moment. Damn. All right. So, all right, my camera's on.
Sorry, guys, I am not well dressed right now.
Well, it's hitting a fan on earworms here.
Put yourself as the
Can
main
you make
view,
yourself bigger?
Lawrence,
Okay.
embiggen yourself.
Yeah, that'll be fun trying to do that. I'm just going to click everything and see what happens. Well,
That's Mountain Hawk, and
There
he's
I
definitely
am.
got it. Yep.
Thanks for joining the stream, Mike.
Mike, can you just grab the gourd flute from?
Yeah, let me
Lawrence?
grab that from him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's bigger.
there you go.
There we go.
Okay,
this
so it
is-
has multiple tubes.
Yeah, and basically, just a few holes down here.
Right, and the others are drones.
I have played this before. What's going on, Beans?
Oh, we believe you.
And then when you open up one of the drones, where is it? Pull them down. Okay. Yeah, she has like a real one. I had an Amazon knockoff. So that's one of the drones. And then there's a second drone here. All right. So, yeah, that's how that does it. That's a more efficient way, I think, than, bladder squeezing.
Well, except that you run out of air when you're blowing, right? Whereas the bladder at least is a reservoir that you can continually keep refilling.
Hold on a second. Liza, can you bring it back? Because, Liza, you can do circular breathing. That's where basically... with the cheek squeezing it through. But of course, you hear little tonal fluctuations as you practice a lot. Okay, so how are we doing on time here?
I think that's up to the Emperor.
We're 8:21 right now. My time.
Which means you have how much time left, sir?
Give me like another 20, 25 minutes. Should be able to be good.
Oh, God. We're all going to be reading the same parts on these scripts.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There.
Well, we've got a bit to go. And Lawrence has been deleted from the stream. Goodbye.
See ya.
Well, let's be fair. We've all had enough of his shit.
Jesus Christ.
His showing off with his, circular breathing. And
yeah. All right, folks. So anyway,
I would like a little more of Lawrence's circular breathing.
Didgeridoo.
I do have one.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do too, but I can't do the circular breathing.
I can, but there are still little fluctuations in tone. I just need to practice more. I mean, it's something you got to do like every day, and then it's imperceivable, or you can hide it with one of your dingo barks.
Ah, is that the key?
Well, there's different things that could be done.
I would just fake it the whole time and sound like I'm doing Mongolian throat singing or something.
Yes.
Babe, 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 babe.
You know what I'm going to do? We're going to continue with the instruments because I think we should at least finish them. This was already set to be a 3-parter, the Holy Grail and all this, because I knew it was going to be a lot. But damn, I think what we should do is finish these instruments. And next week, since there'll only be 8 left, there'll be only 8 to play again.
Perfect.
That means there's more time for the film. So how about we finish off these rounds? So that should be enough time that we've had there for.
So who won in our current bracket?
Oh, look for ties.
Oh, sack butt and bagpipes look like.
Yeah, they're tied at 40%, but that's okay because we're taking the top 2 of each group, so they can come through on a tie. Sack butt and bagpipes. The bells, I knew they probably wouldn't do so well. That got a 0. No one needs.
No, there were tubular bells. We might give them a.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And then the guitar got 20%. Well, so I am going to type this in, and one of these days I will get good at this. So I don't know if our chat is back or not.
Not on our side.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be reported. I do think I could get like a 7-day trial of Streamlabs and maybe try that. But anyway, what is a streamer to do? They want to get rid of all the little streamers and
No,
big ones.
That's what YouTube wants to do.
Yeah, and so just have the big ones. So anyway, so we'll put sack butt, and we're gonna put the bagpipes. There we go.
And I just want to point out, for the record, I applaud you, chat, for choosing the two most juvenile named instruments. I stand with you in this.
I'm a mature adult. I don't know.
Yeah.
But remember, the bagpipes were there being played with the bells, so you could put the bells in the bags. And all right. So anyway, we have next sham and dobra, as well as trumpet and hurdy-gurdy.
Sham and dobra sounds like a movie that we would watch on B-sides.
You can look for it. Well, I was looking for that. What is it? Super Stooges and Wonder Women thing. That movie that the director did, the same director as the movie you showed last Friday.
the one that we'll have on Babs's birthday.
Yeah, I found that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I found it in India too, but the download didn't complete. So
no, you can't cheat and watch it ahead of time. You have to celebrate it only on Babs's birthday.
Well, when's that?
That show will be the 27th, Friday the 27th.
Oh, this month?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. So anyway, folks, I know that's a lot of inside baseball there, but check out B-sides down in the description. Last week's Friday night festival was very interesting. Cosmos War of the Planets. The Italian water polo team basically went up into space.
And I think they won. I'm really very confused.
Well, I know we lost.
Oh, well, that's fair.
I'm sorry about all that stuttering, folks. I was hitting the space bar instead of the shift key. So anyway, Green Matthews is a band, performing group in the UK. And the musicians not only perform, but they also give talks on the instruments, but they utilize medieval instruments as well as, I believe, some Renaissance instruments and basically instruments from history. They sound pretty good. I've definitely check out their channel down in the description. But here, one of the members of the group is going to show us the sham.
Well, they may.
More of a sham, really.
Yeah. The ShamWow.
Are you building the anticipation again there?
Well, I think he's muted himself, and he's going to do some more Excel. He might be doing his taxes later.
What the hell happened?
Well, we'd love to know.
Why?
We asked you first.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to actually click to share the video that I'm playing. Jesus Christ. No, not that. Not that. That.
Oh.
So you didn't even hear what I was playing so far?
No, we heard nothing, and so we decided to entertain ourselves.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Very proactive. All right, Green Matthews, that's the name of this group. I was saying that, but now we're going to get the actual description of the sham. SHAWM. All right, play, damn you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Green Matthews Meet the Instruments. Today I have for you the shawm. This is the direct ancestor of our modern oboe. It uses a double reed, very much like the modern oboe, and okay, the oboe's come a long way, but with the shawm you can hear where it has come from. It was popular as a court instrument from the Middle Ages through to the Renaissance, and it's what we refer to as a consort instrument. Consort is essentially a fancy word for band. Usually, though, of the same types of instruments. One of the restrictions with certainly woodwind instruments through the Middle Ages and the Renaissance is that their range of notes is quite limited. So much as we do today with our choirs, we need the soprano, alto, tenor, bass. With woodwind instruments of this period, we have instruments of different sizes to create a kind of full and rich sound when we're composing. So this is an alto shawm. It sort of sits in the middle of the consort. But even though it's a medium-sized instrument, as the instruments get bigger and bigger and bigger, obviously the finger spacing gets further apart as well. And as they get further apart, particularly the hole at the bottom for my little finger has to go so far away that I couldn't possibly reach it. So I need the help of a key here. So let's have a little look at the mechanism. Hiding inside this bit here is my key mechanism. So that will help me reach all the way down to the bottom and get that low note. It's the only key that we have on instruments from this period. And the little cage that goes over and protects that delicate key work. These holes here let the sound out, but the cage is called a fontanelle, and that protects everything inside it. So I'm going to play you a piece of shawm consort music from the 1530s. It's a French piece called Tourbillon.
Alrighty then.
Am I the only one that was doing everything to not make a smart-ass comment or laugh when she was explaining the different sizes and that she has to use her hand in different ways depending on the size of it? And
I had to walk away when she said that she might not be able to reach the hole.
yes, yes, and then her finger spacing needed to be different, and I was like, well, yeah, okay, that's.
Well, I didn't go there actually when hearing the description, but now that you mentioned it, I don't think I'll be able to unhear it the next time I watch it. But anyway, the shawm does come in different sizes, and in fact, like there's sometimes they have different words from different countries and stuff too. And I had at one point something called a bombard that was like a real short shawm, but it was loud as balls. I was even looking it up, and but if you look up medieval bombard on YouTube, you're going to get a bunch of guys.
A lot of cannons.
Yeah, that are out there on weekends with catapults flinging stones at shit. That's all you're going to get.
My autocomplete says medieval bondage.
Bondage. Oh. Could you send me that link?
No, you shouldn't have told us that. So anyway, there is the shawm, and next we have it's Mr. Mike Gorley with a haircut.
Huzzah!
Pretty long hair.
This is the Dombra. creative shot there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened there, but I thought it looked cool, so I left it in.
Okay.
You dropped
Well,
the camera.
I hate to cut your
I mean,
piece
I did it
short.
on purpose.
I hate to cut your piece short, but we're going to have to do that with all these if we're going to get through this. No wonder it took me all week to make this thing. I basically made like 5 episodes.
It took me years to make that video. Gosh.
But anyway, Mike, do you have anything to say about the Dombra? Like,
It's one of the oldest instruments. They have found that on cave dwellings like 4000 BC. Pictures of the Dombra
Really?
in Central Asia. So it's believed to be one of the oldest instruments in Central Asia.
Wow.
And that piece there, if you didn't catch the beginning title, was when I was learning. I learned that's a Mongolian folk song.
Now,
Which all it said was Mongolian folk song, so I have no idea what the name of it is.
That narrows it down. The so would that original instrument have been fretless?
I don't know. I don't think it was. There's a guy I watched a video of has like a bunch of these. He's like a collector, and if I remember right, they were all fretted.
Yeah.
The timbre might have been fretless,
Right.
which is maybe as old as
the tambour.
the
I think I mentioned that during the lute. That dates back to Mesopotamia.
Yeah, that's very ancient as well. So,
but anyway, there we go. So the Dombra is Mongolian.
No, that song was a Mongolian folk song.
Oh, okay.
It's found all through Central Asia. The Dombra I'm playing, I got from a guy in Kazakhstan. So,
well, I guess we'll allow it because the Asians did kind of invade Europe a little bit there.
A little bit.
So
It's mutual.
we can.
They hit him with Dombras.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that Asia did exist from the time of 450 AD until 1450.
Oh,
AD.
I know. Just sometimes you got to narrow it down. Otherwise, we got to be including some other things, Well, anyway, let's move on. Oh, that's Mike again. Sorry about that. So that we heard
Folk
the
song
Dombra.
number 1.
Now we have the trumpet, and the best I could do. Now, YouTube, you can, if you look for medieval trumpet there, you get this one guy with a crappy video, but other than that, you get this vacation footage. So this is from Assisi, apparently. Assisi's Royal Trumpet Fanfare. Oh, damn, I need to turn that down.
Maybe a bit, yeah.
Levels.
And make it a little more exciting. It was in the movie too.
Okay, so the is trumpet specific to a certain size, or is it peculiar? Because like what he's playing right there doesn't have valves.
Right.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it basically you play it with lip tension, and that's why you get that ba 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 ba. You can get like fifth, an octave, basically your harmonic overtone series.
Right, but the prior one with the the vacation or whatever, they're pretty clearly playing a valved instrument.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know when the valves actually came about. But at first they were unvalved, and you could only get harmonics, and but here, I guess there were some basic valves. But I'm not sure what year, but it was in the Middle Ages that they started doing that, I believe.
Okay.
In Italy, it was called the tube. But basically, I'm just saying trumpet just to keep things simple because I
Okay.
can't put up a translation for every language of an instrument. But anyway, I switched to the other one there because it was really starting to bother me. Oops,
Oh.
there's Google. And
Let's search.
I wanted to just play that, because that's from the movie and it gives you a good idea of the look of. I mean, at first they were valveless and pretty much you can only get and stuff like that.
Right, like a bugle.
Yep.
Yeah, is that a bugle? A bugle doesn't have
Basically, it's evolved from the same proto conically shaped pucker instrument.
Right, the bugle just remained purely, using lip tension to make the sounds, whereas the
Right.
trumpet moved
Yep.
the valves and lip tension.
Yep. Actually, it could have been the Renaissance when the valves come in. Actually, I'm going to look that up. We had Google there a minute, or should we do Brave Search?
No, God, no.
When did valves start being used in trumpets? Okay, well, if it sounds really crazy, then it won't be true, but let's see here. According to
1810, according to
1810. Oh, I was way off.
Yeah, I was going to say the precision machinery and all that is going to require a bit more than what you would have had in the Renaissance.
Yeah, I believe so. But should we try Google and just double check it?
Sure.
Right.
Whatever it takes longer.
Yes.
Whatever takes when were valves used on trumpets? I know that there was French horns going back to
1818.
the Baroque period.
1818.
Wow. So they were valveless up until that point. So, yeah. So a lot of lip adjusting. And all you could do is pretty much fanfares.
Hey-o.
And in any case, well, it's a good thing they got that sorted out before the Romantic period. All righty. Here we go. And then finally, for this group, we have the hurdy-gurdy. Now, the hurdy-gurdy evolved from an instrument called the organistrum, which I will show in a second here. But this is probably the best thing to listen to and the best shot on video I got, so that people could see.
That is a good angle.
And so here we go. We're going to hear it a little bit. And then I'll show the organistrum, which you'll see is similar, except the body and the fingering area are separated. As you'll be able to see here towards the right, he's pushing down on buttons that basically stop strings that are inside the fingerboard there. You can see them outside and then going in. They basically run through, and those buttons will stop the strings. It's almost like pressing a string down to select notes, but it's mechanically being done. And then there's the crank that basically stimulates the sound production.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're hearing other instruments in here too, because he recorded with, I guess, a DAW and so forth. All right. So anyway, I do have a link in the description so people can follow that link and play it. Let me look at the credits here. It's Andre Vinogradov. So that is the gentleman that I'm pretty sure this was built by him too, because a lot of YouTubers
My
that
God.
I've found build their own hurdy-gurdies.
Oof.
And
I just wanted to compliment his form there at the beginning. I noticed the way that he released the crank
mhm.
in every stop was like really just expertly done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now here is the earlier version. Now, apparently there were hurdy-gurdies during the later Middle Ages in Ireland, but throughout the earlier portions of the Middle Ages, it was the organistrum, which is basically like the predecessor. So I'm going to just go to YouTube here in general and do a search, because I didn't download an organistrum version because it was hard to find any that sounded all that good. And I was like,
Oh, our good friend friend of the channel, Scott H, is back after being very much accidentally bumped off for a little bit. Welcome back to the chat, Scott.
welcome back. Sorry that our chats aren't coming through here. Now, this is probably the best sounding example here. The video is in French, so we're not going to listen to the description afterwards. Oh,
Well, let's
Sunday
watch an
night.
ad first, shall
Oh
we?
yeah.
Well, it's muted right now, so that's good.
Yeah, we got that going for us.
And then
What I want to know is
skip it.
what kind of drugs were they on to invent this thing?
Football? Yeah, I want to know too.
No, the hurdy-gurdy.
Now
Football was ale.
Now this is an organistrum. Basically, it's got the crank, it's got a body with strings, and then the fingering area is basically an enclosed system here with the buttons. And so it's slightly different than a hurdy-gurdy, although they're really strongly related. In a minute, we're going to see them perform it, but right now you can at least see a little bit of kind of like how it's put together. You got to open this up to access the strings, and they of course need plenty of adjustment.
Whoa, that's a bit loud.
And also,
sorry.
No, your volume's on the other side.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. So this is how it was typically played. It's a two-person job. Okay, and it's in French, so we won't be able to understand it.
Oh, that explains the look in that guy's eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then this one's I saw this one before too, and it's like
Like,
Is he going to smoke on the water?
okay. So you see, you look for some of these things, you can find some pretty bizarre things.
How's our community theater troupe looking? Because I feel like we're about to lose one of our cast members.
We are indeed.
Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna say farewell to Jay now, and we aren't going to be continuing with the film in the community theater until next week.
Okay.
I made an executive decision. We're going to do our last group of 4 instruments.
Okay.
And so we'll have our group of 8 set for next time, and then we're going to continue with the Holy Grail next time. It looks like this overall series is going to be 4 weeks.
Wait a minute now.
Hold
Are
it
you
now.
threatening
Wait a
us
minute.
with a good time?
It was originally supposed to be 3, but I don't know. Hopefully we can get through it faster next week. It's just when we're talking about these instruments, I don't want to, short shrift things and just look like a dumbass showing medieval instruments and not really trying to say anything about them.
Yeah, I mean, focus on the instruments. It's really what we're all about, and that's the
Yeah.
where the novel
Yeah.
information comes from.
Although
and
I had way more fun than I thought we would during the script read. So yeah, let's just break it up a little more.
yeah. We'll just speed it up. We'll just speed it up a little bit more. But anyway, let's get this voting done. And Jay, as soon as you need to go, I mean, if you want to go now, you're a free human being.
I'm dying to see the results of the vote for this bracket. Sadly, I won't be able to see the last 4 contestants, but I want to see who wins this one.
Okay. All right. And that's if I can create a poll in any.
It's bagpipes. Bagpipes were 45%. Sackbutt coming in close second.
Well, I ended the poll up. No, I ended it. Yeah. Yeah, didn't I already type that in?
The results were showing.
You did, but,
like it.
but yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't end it. All right, so here we go. In this one, what did we start with? I know there's a trumpet, the dombra, and the sham. Sham. We had the dombra. Yep.
The trumpet and the hurdy-gurdy.
Okay, trumpet and hurdy-gurdy.
The hurdy-gurdy looks like something that was like the genesis of the one-man band instruments,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, yeah, and remember this organistrum and the hurdy-gurdy were during still the Middle Ages, so we're talking about before 1450 at least, and that's pretty. That takes some ingenuity.
Yeah, but if you were like a traveling troubadour, the ability to have a larger sound, right, to sound like you're more than one person, would be something that everybody would kind of search for.
The poll is up, folks.
Not gonna lie, I'm a hurdy-gurdy man.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm your hurdy-gurdy man.
Well, it looks like Michael's still sneaking in second place with his dombra, because everything else has 0.
Nothing wrong with the dombra.
What makes you think I voted for the dombra?
Or he's all. Nothing and yet all at once.
So anyway, folks, voting is now or never. I'll be closing this because of, I don't know. I just did not realize this would take so long. So anyway,
I think you did a great job mapping out tonight's show, Lawrence. So let's not rush it, and we'll do another episode and wrap
Schedules and plans are just invitations to reality to come and kick you right in the nuts.
That's right. Trying is the first step to failure.
Yes. And okay, so we are going to end the poll, folks. It will be the hurdy-gurdy and the dombra.
Excellent.
All right.
Those worthy competitors.
Yeah.
All right, well, gentlemen, I will be bailing out. I wish you
good night, Emperor.
Take care.
Let me just go ahead and see the chat. Zither, go zither. Go zither.
Can you spell it right?
Yeah, that was a request by Princess Fiona to have the zither.
What the zither?
All right.
Dombra.
All right. See you children later.
Take care.
Have a good show.
Damn. I guess I didn't give him enough time to eat something. Man, time goes by.
You're a slave driver.
All right. So anyway, no, I'm just incompetent. Let's see here. Let's go back to our software, the browser, and I keep having to report to everybody on the stream what I'm doing as I'm doing it. All right. There we go. I'm back here, and now what we're going to do is call up the next videos for the remaining instruments. of which there are 4. We have here, I did the hurdy-gurdy, and yes, it is the zither is next. Now, am I on screen?
Well, no, not on screen.
Not me, but the zither video.
No.
Your YouTube recommendation end page is on screen.
YouTube recommendation end page. I was in the wrong tab. I thought this was going to make things easier, but it made things
For the Orgasmatron video that we just watched. Yes, green sleeves.
All right. And I think I'll pause there after we got a good completion of the melody there. So, this instrument looks evil. It looks like it's a hard one to play.
Well, it's not the playing, it's the 3 hours to tune it. That's why I don't have one of those.
I'm having PTSD flashbacks from the
look at all of them.
Class. Yeah.
I can't even count it.
It's more portable than a harp, at least.
Ish.
At least
well, you better buy a good one that stays in tune.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And these strings, they seem to be, the ones towards the upper register seem to be in multiple courses. I mean, well, a course with multiple strings. And the lower ones, they're just so close together as is that it's like, man.
It's not the same groupings across the scale?
I don't know, but I'd hate to change them strings.
Yeah, I think it's 3. There's 3 in a course in the lower strings, and then I had it opposite. In the upper strings, it seems to be 2, and the lower strings 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of fuzzy. Sorry, I just had to play it a little bit more because that, is pretty beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So there we go. The zither, and this is performed by Etienne de la Volx, as I think how you pronounce that. And link is in the description to the video as well as her channel. So I would say check that out. Next we have the crumb horn. And this will be presented by our good friends at Green Matthews again. That band that we heard from before with the sham. And now it's going to be the crumb horn.
Hello and welcome back to Green Matthews Meet the Instruments. Today I have another consort instrument for you. It is the crumb horn.
It's the beer pong.
Yeah, it looks like that.
I mean, I read about it.
Yeah, it looks like a spare part for a hookah too, maybe. But
popular in courts throughout Europe in the 16th century, the Renaissance, and was made fashionable in the English court by King Henry VIII. The word crumb horn...
Great guy, that Henry VIII. How many wives did he kill off?
I bet Barbara knows.
Yeah.
It stumped me.
Yeah, someone would have had to pay attention to that Tudors thing. But anyway, we go
Horn
forward.
means bent or curved horn, which obviously refers to its shape. It's what's referred to as a capped reed instrument because it has a reed inside it, just like the shawm does. But unlike the shawm or an instrument like the oboe, I don't play the reed directly with my lips. It has a cap on the top, which focuses the air on the right part of the reed. Now, the drawback with the cap is that whereas with an instrument like the shawm or the oboe, you have direct control over the reed, you can therefore control the volume. With the cap, I have no direct contact or control over the reed, so I can't control the volume. This has no dynamic qualities at all. With a capped reed instrument, your volume is either on or off. However, it's a wonderful little instrument, and I'm going to play you a piece for 3 crumhorns. It's a piece by Michael Pretorius, and it's called The Gavottes.
Is that too loud?
A little bit.
I hear a little bit of stuff in the background sometimes. So, yeah, as you see, it's pretty much a proto-kazoo. Okay, that's enough of that. I guess a tune like that, you really got to be dancing. But anyway, there we have the crumb horn.
That is not the tone for me. Feels a bit.
Oh,
little bit pushy to me.
Yeah, I sensed your pain there. Yeah, that's crumb horn, zither. Oh, I skipped the fiddle. Here we go. It doesn't matter what order we do these in. Here is the fiddle. Now, you might say, well, fiddle, that's a modern term. It may be somewhat, but in all the stuff that I look at, you see that word fiddle used a lot, like referring to any kind of bowed string instruments. A lot of times they're just called fiddles, like the Kruth was called like a lap fiddle. And then even reading about the medieval stuff, it used the word fiddle a lot, although viol is another word, viol, for a certain type. It's almost like fiddle is more of a general term and viol is more of a specific term. But both words would apply to this one here that we're about to hear. I'm going to pause it there so we could look a bit at the strings. And I'm trying to see. It's a little blurry, but it looks like 5 strings. Unless I'm seeing that wrong.
It's 5 or 6.
Yeah. And the violin, for example, has 4, as well as all of our modern string instruments, the violin, viola, cello, bass, 4 strings. Unless you're talking about like electric bass or something. But yeah, so it's kind of like a little bit, different there. It's It's hard to describe. This would basically be classified as a viol, viol, but in the overall family, that a lot of times it's just called fiddles. I know today we just kind of use that term for like bluegrass playing or something, but it actually is an older term than that.
In
But
modern times, we call this an ergonomic disaster.
yeah,
Would put your spine out of place so fast.
I'm assuming so. Yeah, I played viola in grade school. I stopped when I went to college because I focused on saxophone then. But man, yeah, keeping your arm up in that position, holding the fingerboard with the bent elbow just bent the right way.
Oh,
I mean, you do get used to it after a while, but it is.
having your head turned and your chin locked like that
Yeah.
is one of the worst things you could do to your neck.
Oh, look at that. It's bigger body and everything than, what we would know from the violin or viola.
Looks like a big string off the top of the neck.
Very.
Yeah, huge.
That be interesting to see if he plays it, because we've been seeing a lot of strings just for resonance in these instruments. Okay, I think we should probably stop there. But other than that, it's very similar to just at least the, what would you call it? Just the principles of a viola or a violin. You have a bridge there, and that like lifts the strings, and then it's off screen now, but you basically have a head with probably a nut, and then the which kind of holds or grips the strings at the other end, and then the tuning pegs beyond that to be able to tune it. So it is pretty much in principle similar to what we have there. We can see from a distance.
Yeah, other than that one string, which is very interesting. I wish he would have played it.
It might be that he's just playing in a higher register, so he's not playing it right now.
Well, if you notice, the string is lower than the other ones coming off that back bridge. You wonder if it maybe is plucked at some time for bass effect.
Well, I've heard plucking. I don't know if it was that string.
Yeah, I couldn't see exactly.
He's bouncing the bow. Well, I don't know what that's officially called, but he's plucking them with the bow.
Are those little percussive hits that he's doing for accent?
Yeah.
Is that from the bow, or is that lower string that he's like fingering and plucking?
No, it was from the bow. I was watching him.
Okay.
How do you pluck with a bow?
Well, I said I don't know what you call it.
Sort of bouncing off of it.
Kind of bouncing off of it.
Okay.
But you got to do it very specifically. Not an easy instrument.
That sounds really precise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at his left hand. He's not.
I can't catch it.
He's not plucking with it. It's playing the notes of what he's playing. So yeah, it must be, unless that thumb wrapped around there. I don't know. I don't see the thumb though. Actually, it's hard to tell.
I haven't heard it either. It looks very big, so it'd have to be like a bass sound. Maybe he is plucking it.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds so precise. I don't know how you could do that with a bow.
No, he's doing that with his thumb.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I could see the fingers weren't doing it, so it's the thumb that's plucking there.
Called it. Well, this is normal.
I think I'm being unfair here. We're looking at the fiddle for too long, or viol, or whatever. We'll just say fiddle, the more general term, because
You
there
can't-
are different sizes of these instruments and so forth.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, I think we have one more, and hopefully we have enough people still left in the chat to vote. Here we go. This is the organ, performed, as you see there, by Catalina Vicens. I'm going to let it pause right there.
Very nice.
Yes. And the organ's fine too.
Yes.
Now, as you can see, there's a bellows at the back end. You just see it a little bit on the right side. That's basically how you push air through the pipes, and then a keyboard on the front that's a little bit more like buttons than the keys that we would be familiar with. And yeah, it's hand-held or arm-held, and the different length pipes will make different pitches based on their length. And they have notch cuts in them so that to give them that distinctive pipe organ-y type sound.
It's a
But
pipe
this is...
organ.
Yeah. And it says she's got it sitting on her knee.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so
So it's a
painful.
knee organ.
Yeah, now there are larger sizes, of course. We're still not at the point where they have the supermassive pipe organs that you had in the Baroque period and so forth.
No,
But the principles are the same, and sometimes you would need a separate person to work the bellows, and the other person would play the organ.
It is a beautiful instrument, regardless.
I was wondering if Keith Emerson had one of those. I'd like to see him play one of those. He'd tear it up, I'm sure.
Yeah. Got to get used to those keys the way they are. Now let me see here. There's our chat. It's time to enter in these final 4 instruments before everybody falls asleep.
Here we go, folks.
I'm adding the options. Okay. And now I need to remember what we had. All I'm remembering right now is the organ and the fiddle, and the zither was first.
Zither.
And then we had, there was something, oh yeah, the crumhorn.
Crumhorn.
Then the fiddle, we'll just say. And finally, the organ. Not to be confused with the organistrum. Okay, there we go.
Oh man!
All right.
But just the craftsmanship and the beauty of that instrument are really grabbing me.
All righty then. Well, look at this. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, no. We still have a 2-way tie there for second and third.
Oh! Things could change on a dime, folks. Anything could happen.
I think the organ had a great representative. working on its behalf there.
Agreed. She is lovely.
She looks very happy.
Well, it looks like a last second tweak there.
Everyone in the chat, get your vote in.
Yep. The folks from the UK are, if they're still with us, are really tired. And okay, I think we're going to close it. I don't think we're going to get any more now. Yes, we have the Zither winning and the Oregon second place.
Well done, everyone.
Yay.
And so let me enter that.
Let's go to the big board.
Spreadsheet time.
Yeah, I'm back to the tab with wave.video, but somehow everything's blank.
You're not stuck on her.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Well played, everyone.
Well played. So here we go. This will be our round next week. So the instruments won't take as long. I'll try to do different videos.
Oh, that'd be great if you could get secondary videos.
Yeah, and that way it's not the same old ones. So the Zither and the organ will pass through. Alrighty then. There's our final 8 for next week, and next week we will be picking up. The reason why I'm not going to do it tonight is I do not want to rush our community theater with with the upcoming castle.
All right.
The Castle of Guido L'Amour. And
it's a good call.
Yes, because that one is going to be part of the session next week. And it's just too fragile. It's just too important. So anyway, folks, thank you for joining us.
Representing the European Unified. Thanks for hanging out, Common.
Yes, thank you, Common. Don't worry, next week will be better. I don't know, I'm going to find myself fired one of these.
Am I fired?
No, I might find myself fired from Common people.
Huh?
Yeah, chief shareholder. No, you were great tonight, Mike. Man. I needed your knowledge in many of those occasions. So anyway,
would you like me to get you a Dombro video permission from Gabriel?
If you think that it would be good, great. But the thing is, it's not really the permission keeper that I'm worried about. It's about YouTube. The main question is, like, is it something that he's submitted, as a sound recording that would be flagged? Like if he's done CD Baby or any of the other things.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, that would be the only thing. So anyway, folks, thank you for joining us. As you can tell, I think we're all tired out now.
That was a fun show.
There were 4 and we're down to 3. But anyway, folks, thank you for joining us, Mike Gorley. Adam, as usual, thank you.
Of course.
I'll be working on practicing with this wave.video. I am going to submit a ticket about the chat being dropped from our feed.
Yeah, it seemed okay. I mean, it's certainly no worse than StreamYard. It's just a different little problems.
It worked and then just stopped, and I don't know that there's anything I could do to fix that. But anyway.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, it's a newer company, I think, and so it's going to take a little while before the glitches are worked out.
Yeah, I would like to have another a separate conversation about streaming software, since we're all in the grips of the StreamYard fallout. So another night.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to do our shorter sign off tonight. Thank you, chat. You're lovely. Thanks for bearing with me. And we're going to do our shorter sign off tonight, and it's going to be a little bit of a star-spangled banner, because after all, I don't know.
America.
Adam gave it to me.
56. We are now leaving the air.